Valve, the company that makes Left 4 Dead, runs the Steam network, has introduced the specs on their new console, and they're amazing. So let's talk about it. Here we go. Dude, so this is pretty amazing to me. If you guys have watched all my videos, I think you've heard me express kind of a lack of excitement for the new consoles. You know, I was begging for new consoles 2 or 3 years ago, but they fell so out of date and yuck. And then the new consoles come out, and in terms of specs, in terms of power that are offered by these things, they just seem kind of weak. You know, my computer's a year and a half old now, and it is... I don't want to exaggerate. It might be 4 or 6 times more powerful than the new consoles that are about to drop. And my computer's a year and a half old. If you're wondering, it's an overclock 3930K CPU from Intel. It has an NVIDIA GTX 680. It's quite a lot better than the consoles that are going to come out later this year. So to hear that the new consoles drop, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm getting both. I'm not on the edge of my seat. Oh my god, I can't wait for these amazing graphics, because I play on something better every day. And I don't want to come off PC elitist jackass, because I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate all these PC master race bullshit guys who you know, act like they're better than somebody else. But I have to tell you, when I talk about excitement around new consoles, it matters that they're not state-of-the-art. So, back on topic, Valve is dropping new consoles out there, and they're going all in on this. So these are the prototype specs, and they're not all the same, so hang in with me here. In terms of the GPU, it's all NVIDIA stuff, and I'm an NVIDIA fanboy, so I like that. By the way, both the consoles are doing AMD stuff, and I'm sure they'll be fine. But look, some of the units are coming with an NVIDIA Titan, which I think is the fastest graphics card in the known universe. For gaming anyway. Some will come with the GTX 780, which is right there next to it, and some will come with the GTX 760, and some with the GTX 660. All of these are very good GPUs. To put the GPU in perspective, the slowest one they're looking at, the GTX 660, which is last year's CPU, it came out by NVIDIA last year, the 700 series is the current one, does 1.9 teraflops. That is faster than the PS4, which of course is faster than the Xbox One. That's the slowest option. The fastest option, the Titan card, I think it's just shy of 5 teraflops. It might be 4.7. I don't know. I'm sure you can measure it and get different results. But so there you go. The thing ranges from twice as fast, even more, 2.5 times faster than the PS4, and maybe 3 times faster than the Xbox, to simply faster than the PS4 and faster than the Xbox. That is the spec range. So right there, we've got the most powerful GPU out of any of the consoles. In the CPU, they're going to be coming with the i7 4770, 4570, and some i3. All of these are going to be faster than the CPU offered in any of the consoles. In terms of RAM, 16 gigabytes of RAM on the CPU, which is twice as much as either console, and 3 gigabytes for the GPU. So, which again is a ton more than the console, than either the Xbox or the PS4. What happens is the Xbox and the PS4, they share that 8 gigabytes of RAM between the CPU and the GPU. They're a common system. So, which is called an APU, but that's not important. Anyway, so they have 8 gigabytes to be shared between the CPU and the GPU. Here, they're discrete memory units, 16 for the CPU, 3 more, so we're really comparing 8 versus 18. Wow, right? I mean, this is the storage. They're using a solid-state hard drive in the Steam box. The power supply, that it's going to be 1 foot by 1 foot by 3 inches tall. This thing is the console killer. This thing is far and away better than the other consoles that are being offered in terms of spec. It's like we've been having these debates, PS4 versus Xbox One. Will the Xbox One be able to use its cloud advantage to compete with the PS4's compute advantage? Will the Xbox One's, it looks like out of the gate it has more high-end exclusive games, more AAA exclusive games. How will that compare with the PS4's ease of indie games, or the ease of development? How's that going to go? We're all waiting to see how these two guys are coming along, and it's like we're watching two regular guys in a foot race, and then all of a sudden Usain Bolt comes along. There's a whole new contender on here, and it's it's kind of blowing me away. Like, this should be the thing that people are talking about. I'm pretty excited about this. It runs Linux, which I think is kind of interesting. I look forward to seeing how that goes. But apparently, the bulk of the library that's on Steam right now is going to be running on this thing. There's a new controller that's offered, and that's this funny thing for me. So here, I'll show you a picture of it. This is the new controller, and I'm really curious as to how this will work out. You can see, it shares a lot in terms of shape and design with the Xbox One and the PS4 controller. I know in some ways it's completely different and not alike at all. In other ways, it still fits in your hand about the same. But there's some interesting stuff. There's some buttons on the other side, and you see how there's a lack of joysticks on the front? It has this haptic feedback thing, so it's kind of like a touchscreen, like working with your phone or such, which in my experience has been a really crappy experience. But it pushes back on your thumb. That's what haptic feedback is. So if it wants you to know that like you hit the end, or game developers have a way to give your thumb like a tactile feedback, something that you can touch and feel that that you don't have with the joystick. I'm curious as to how it will work out. But as I watched, Valve is going a completely new direction, and it's exciting. They're going ham on this thing. The specs on their console are way better than the specs on either of the other consoles. If you want me to throw a number in the air, there's a couple different hardware configurations. It's going to be between 2 times and 4 times more powerful than the other consoles that are out there. That's a big deal. In terms of the game library for it is going to be gigantic, because this is essentially like a PC, and the library that's been existing out there for PCs is going to work for the Steam box. This thing is going to launch being fast, and this thing is going to launch with tons and tons of titles. And in terms, I think the prototypes ship this year, and the console's supposed to really go into production after the Christmas season, which is a huge mistake. I'm sure they didn't want it to be like that, but they're going to miss Christmas for this year, and they're going to start dropping early next year. I'll warn you, there's this concept in gaming called Valve Time, which is just like a running joke. I think this is an awesome name. Yep, get stuck, bitch. There's this concept in gaming called Valve Time, which is a reference to how they always miss their delivery dates. But oh man, if you want to talk consoles, if you want to talk about what's going to change gaming out there, I feel like it's not the Xbox One, it's not the PS4, it's not any of these things, which are just kind of evolving versions of what we have already. What's really changing gaming out there are these people that are using current gen technology. These people who are building stuff that rivals the best that you can get in PC gaming. The reason that my console excitement has been damaged to some extent is that I started playing on the PC, and oh god, I hate this Master Race crap that's coming out of my mouth. But I started playing on the PC, and now when a console comes out that's not as good as what I'm using right now to talk to you, I'm like, it's hard for me to get really, really excited about it. When Steam drops this, it's the best of both. It is like a console maintainability and predictability and something that quote-unquote just works, like the Xbox and the PS4 do. It just works. You put it in and it goes. But it has the gaming experience of a PC and a living room design. And I don't know. Let's watch this. I think it's going to be cool.